Hi, my name is Kat, Free Librarian, and welcome to a new video. Today I'll be sharing my May TBR with you. I decided not to play the TBR game this month because I didn't want to. So I'm just gonna share a pile of possibilities because I have a lot of books that I would like to be able to get to in the month, and so I'm just gonna go over them. Also, I changed my hair. I have filmed a clip with this hair before, but I think this is the first video that goes up with me in this hair, so it's there. I missed the purple. It's a slightly different color. It's more red than it was the previous time. But I like it, so yeah, and then the length it's actually quite an annoying length. But I think it looks good. So yeah. Anyway, let's dive into the TBR. In May, I will be participating in Escape the Readathon, which is a competitive team-based readathon hosted by Alexi from the channel Books with Alexi. And the premise is that we're on a cruise ship that we need to escape. And in order to do that, we have to win games, which means that we have to enter a room and then there will get prompts for that particular room, and then we have to read enough books that fit that prompt to win the game. But in order to be able to unlock the rooms, we also have to read books towards those prompts, and those are the only prompts that we know in advance. So we don't know what the game prompts are going to be. That'll be revealed as we open the rooms. As a team, I'm on Team Detectives, which is co-hosted by Tori from Story Between the Pages and Alexis from Alexis Fully Booked. I'll put all the channels that I mentioned in the description. So yeah, I'm really excited for it. I've never participated in this readathon before, so I'm excited to give it a go and see how I like it. The 6 rooms and the 6 corresponding prompts that we know are the dining room, which is a book that matches your outfit at the moment of picking the book. Because you don't have to wear the entire outfit, like the same outfit the entire time, obviously. But like the moment you're picking the book, matches your outfit. Then there is the bar, which is a genre blend. The theater, which is a popcorn read. The pool, which is a book that has exactly 2 of the same letter in the title. The arcade, which is a book that you don't hear a lot of people talking about. And then the gym and spa, which is a book that you keep putting off. Especially those last 2 I'm sort of trying to focus on because I feel like those are categories that I can use a little extra motivation to actually get to those books, because if I'm putting it off, then obviously, but also the ones that I don't hear a lot of people talking about often end up falling a little bit to the wayside because I want to read things that everyone is talking about. I have FOMO, and so I end up prioritizing those and not the lesser known ones, if that makes sense. So those are the 2 categories that I will be focusing on for the month, and then just whenever a room opens with a specific game, I'll read whatever I need to read for that game. But for all the books that I have here on my pile of possibilities, I will just tell you what rooms they would all work for, because a lot of books work for a couple of different rooms. So let's start with some commitment reads. I have one book club read that I have to read, which is The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is a reread for me. It's for Reading Nymphs book club. I actually read it last year with that same book club. We all really enjoyed it, and we're like, we want that experience again, thank you. And so we're just reading it again, because why not? So this is a fantasy mystery set in this world with plant magic, and we're trying to discover a murder that, or like a case where a tree just suddenly grew out of a person's body, which, you know, doesn't sound fun. Um, but that is the case that we're trying to solve here. And it goes from there. I really enjoyed it. I really liked the vividness of the world, and so I really want to experience that again, and then I can also read the sequel later. So this works for the bar for a genre blend because it's a fantasy mystery. It works for the pool because there's two E's, one in the and one in tainted. It works, it's definitely a popcorn read, so it works for the theater, and I think that's it. So yeah, really excited for this. And then two other sort of commitment reads or planned reads that I have are for my reading books that were recommended to my birthday vlog series. I'm a little bit behind. I was supposed to do like 3 books every 2 months, but I just wasn't reading in May. And in April, I only managed to read 2. So I still have to read the third book for vlog number 2 in May. And so I plan to just read 2 books in May, 2 books in June, and then I'm back on track. So the 2 books that I'm planning to read in May are first A Natural History of Dragons by Marie Brennan, which is the first book in the Memoirs of Lady Trent series. It's a fantasy book set in the Regency era about a Lady Trent who wants to become a dragon naturalist, but she's a woman, and so society is sort of holding her back to do that. I've heard good things about it. I am a little bit hesitant just because like the premise is something that I don't always love the execution of. So we'll see if I like this, but I hope I will. And so this would work for the pool because there's 2 ends, one in natural, one in dragons. And I actually don't think it works for anything else really. But I'm kind of hoping that at one point there will be a game that I could count this for. And then the other one that I have is the Raw Shark Texts by Stephen Hall. This is a sci-fi horror thriller that was recommended to me by Jeroen from Walking with Books. And he said it is similar to House of Leaves, but with an animal companion, which, say less. Say less. So yeah, I'm really intrigued. I don't know much more about this, but yeah, this would work for the bar because genre blend, it's a sci-fi horror thriller. So that's 3 genres. It would work for the pool because there's 2 A's, one in raw and one in shark. It would work for the arcade because outside of Jeroen's recommendation, I haven't heard anyone talk about, like, I didn't even know this book existed. So definitely that. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. I think it could very well be a popcorn read as well. So that is the Raw Shark Text. I'm really, really excited. So with those commitment reads out of the way, I will go through first all the books I have currently out from the library. I'll talk about 2 that I have on hold and that will come in soon and I just don't have here yet. First, I have Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater, which is a Regency fantasy romance about this woman who is missing half of her soul. And so there, I think she, with the help of this other guy, are gonna try to get it back because he is like the only person that doesn't, you know, dislike her and doesn't want to interact with her because she, or the only one that still wants to interact with her, rather, because our main character, because she misses half of her soul, yeah, struggles a bit with societal cues and expectations and stuff. And I've heard it's very cute and fun, so I wanted to try it. This is definitely one that I've been putting off. I've had it out from the library before, but just had to return it unread. Um, so I think it definitely counts for that. It also counts for a genre blend, because it's, fantasy and romance. And there's two A's, one in half and one in a. So it works for the pool as well. And I think that's it. Then the other one I have on hold is Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher, which is a fairy tale retelling that was actually technically on my Magical Readathon TBR for April, but it didn't come in time, so I couldn't read it. But that's why I put a hold on it in the first place. T. Kingfisher is definitely an author that I have been putting off, so it could work for that. There's two H's as well, so it could work for the pool too. So we'll see, but there's definitely a chance that I won't end up getting to this one, but we're gonna give it a try. And then I'll just go through the other library books that I have out currently. So first, ebooks. I'm gonna try to get the books that I don't have here with me physically out of the way first so I don't forget about them. So I have Het Isisgeheim by Jeroen Meyer and Jacob Slavenburg, which is the first book in a trilogy, at least like a thriller trilogy, that is often compared to Dan Brown. It's a Dutch thriller. There is no English translation out at this point, so I can't give you like an English title. But I'm really excited for this. Like, I like the idea of those types of like Dan Brown type thrillers, just for like turning my brain off and having a grand old time. But I am often scared for the execution of them. So we'll see if I end up liking this. I think that this could go one of both ways. Either I absolutely love this and I'll just binge the whole trilogy in one go, or I'll hate it and DNF it after 20 pages. It's like one of those two. There's no in between. So, yeah, this works for definitely a popcorn read. Also the pool, because there's two S's in the title. Then the arcade, because I don't really hear people talk about it, which makes sense because there's no English translation, and most of the people I follow, like they do booktube in English, they read in English, they speak English, like they aren't able to read this. So it makes sense, but it's still, I haven't heard a lot of people talking about it. So yeah, I wanna give this a try. It's also on my priority series to read this year, so yeah, really excited for this. I feel like I'm forgetting an ebook that I have out, but I can't think of it right now. So we'll just go through the physical books I have here next to me. First, I have The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers, which is the first book in the Wafer series, which is like a cozy sci-fi, which has been compared to the TV show Firefly, which I freaking love. So I want to give it a chance, but this is definitely one that I have been putting off. Like, I've also had this one out from the library before and returned it unread, so I'm determined to actually read it this time. This is also on my priority series to read in 2025, so yeah. And this works for the gym and spa because I said I've been putting it off, but also for the pool because there's a G in long and a G in angry. So yeah, I think that is all this work for, but I think that this will be great and just heartwarming and beautiful. And I could also see myself like wanting to dive into a second book straight away. So, The Long Way to a Smaller Planet. Then I have Every Exquisite Thing by Laura Stephen. This is a YA horror thriller that is, you know, retelling of The Picture of Dorian Gray. It's dark academia. I don't know much more about that, but Kirsten from the channel Reading Nymph read it and liked it, but didn't love it, but I did want to give it a try. I think I'll feel the same way about this. Like, I'll have a good time, but it won't be a new favorite. But sometimes, you know, you don't always need a book to be a new favorite. So this works for the arcade because I think Kirsten is like really the only person I have personally heard talk about this book. It works for the bar because it's a horror and a thriller. At least it's according to Storygraph, which I use Storygraph as a reference because I feel like that'll be a little bit more accurate than Goodreads. And I don't know where else I would need to get that information without having read it myself. So, yeah, I think it'll also be definitely a popcorn read, and I'm trying to look if there's a double letter. Oh yeah, there's 2 T's, so it also worked for the pool. So, yeah. I'm excited about this. I really want to read it. It is on my 25 books to read in 2025, so yeah, let's try this. Then I have Peter Brook Tales by Nikolai Gogol, which is a Russian classic short story collection that I was actually supposed to read in April, but I didn't manage to get to it. So I'm going to try to read it in May. Short story collections, I tend to read, you know, like a pretty slow pace because I like do one story now and then. But I try to like read one, like finish one within a month. This would definitely work for the arcade because I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. The Gym and Spy as well because I just put off classics always. So that definitely works. Also the Dutch, I have the Dutch version and Dutch title has 2 L's in it, so could work for the pool as well. But yeah, I'm excited to finally read this and just know. Then I have Pardalita by Joana Estrela, which is a graphic novel. It's originally written in Portuguese. It is a YA contemporary, like coming of age, but also like queer romance awakening type of deal. Yeah, I want to give it a try. I think it's gonna be fun. This would mostly work for the arcade as well. Then I have We Used to Live Here by Marcus Cleaver, which is a horror thriller about this family who suddenly shows up on our main character's doorstep, and the father of this family is like, hi, yeah, I used to live here. You don't mind if I show my kids around, right? And so the main character's like, sure, I guess. And then horror things happen. And I have heard a lot of people talking about this and really like it. I think this definitely would work as a popcorn read for the theater and also a genre blend because I said horror thriller. And I'm excited. I want to know what all the hype is about. And I think this will be a very quick read. Then I have The Black Dress by Deborah Mogach. This is a contemporary story about this woman who has recently gone through a breakup and she's feeling pretty bad about it. She's a little bit depressed, she's lonely. But then there's a funeral of like a friend of hers, or someone she knows. I don't know if it's a friend. Yes, a friend. Friend's funeral, but she accidentally ends up on the wrong funeral, and you know, she kind of liked it. Like the sense of community and warmth, and she felt really welcomed, and she felt this connection with other people, which is what she craved. And so she decides, how about I just go to random people's funerals from now on. Wouldn't that be fun? Like, no one would stop me because, like, no one wants to cause a scene at a funeral, right? And so things go from there, and it sounds really interesting. And I feel like it could go either way, like either very emotional or very unhinged, and I'm ready for both. So, I this would work for the arcade because I haven't really heard people talk about it. It would work for the pool because there's two S's in dress. It would also work for the dining room because it kind of matches the dress I'm wearing right now, as you can see. It also like green and then the white flowers on it. So I think it works for that as well. And I'm really excited for this. It seems like a lot of fun. And then my last current library checkout, oh my gosh, is Everyday Utopia by Kristen Argotzi. This is a nonfiction. About basically, it looks at a whole host of different societies, both in throughout history as in the current day, who have structured their society in a way that is different from what we think of as like the default society, and sort of how they have created a society that can be called utopian in a particular element, because obviously a true utopia can never exist because society is created by and made up of people, and people are inherently flawed, and thus society is inherently flawed. But that doesn't mean that we can't try to improve it as much as possible. And it is sort of a book that shows that we think that certain things may not be realistic, or that certain things will never get better, or certain problems will never get solved. Now, guess what? They already are in places or times throughout the world or throughout history. So I think that that is really interesting. This book is on my 25 book story in 2025, and I really need to get like going with that list because I just don't. And it's also one that I have already gotten from the library once. I keep putting off. So it works for the Gym and Spa arcade as well. I haven't heard people talking about it. There is two L's here in the Dutch title. So the pool as well. I think that's it. But I think I'm really gonna like this book and really vibe with this book, and I could use some positivity about the world and stuff right now. So yeah, that is Everyday Utopia. Then I have a couple books that I own that I would like to talk about. So first I have The Sapling Cage by Margaret Killjoy, which is a YA fantasy with like trans witches. It's the first book in a trilogy. I was also supposed to read this in April, but I didn't manage to get to it. And so I want to read it now. This was recommended to me by Ralph from the channel, Ralph Ruzax, who also gifted me this copy because Uranus you gift handed together and he had pulled my name. So he gifted me this copy. So I really want to read it. But he's also the only person that I have heard talking about this. So it works for the arcade. Definitely. It works for the pool because there is two G's, one in sapling, one in cage. And yeah, I'm really excited for this. It was literally just a time thing for April. Like, I just had too many books that I wanted to read in April, but I'm really excited for this, and I really, really, really want to get to it. Then I have This Poison Heart by Helen Bayron, which is a YA fantasy with plant magic stuff. And I'm really excited. It's the first book in a duology. And I've been wanting to try Kaylin Bayron for so long. I have owned this book for so long, but I keep putting it off for no real reason. So definitely a book I keep putting off. Also, it works for the pool because there's two O's, one in, well, both in poison. One in the first syllable of poison and the other in the second syllable of poison. But yeah, I'm really excited for this. I think I'm really gonna like it. Um, and this is also, well, just Kaylin Byron as an author is on my 20 Epic Story in 2025. Like, I gave myself the flexibility to just read one of her books. But I've been wanting to try her. Then I have Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. This is a contemporary romance. It is sapphic about a woman who has a bad relationship with her step family, her step mom and her stepsister. But then her stepsister gets married and she gets hired as a photographer on the marriage, which like they didn't even like give her like a normal invitation. They just hired her as a photographer. That is kind of rude. But anyway, there she meets Claire, who is a friend of Astrid, who's stepsister. And they have a romance together. And if I've already read the second book in this series, which is Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail, if that book is any indication, this will be an emotional gut punch. But I'm ready for it. I really loved the second book, so I hope I will like this too. This will work for the gym and spa because I have been putting this off. Like, I read Astrid Parker in 2023 and I've owned this book since then. So, book I've been putting off. Also the pool because there's two D's. I also have a t-shirt that is pretty much the exact same shade of purple. So if I'm wearing that the moment I start reading this, I could probably count it for the day room too. But so yeah, really excited for this. And the last one I have physically, oh my gosh, is The Dragon's Promise by Elizabeth Lim, which is the second book in the Six Crimson Cranes duology, which I freaking love. Six Crimson Cranes. It was on my favorite books that I read in 2023. And so I've been putting off this sequel because I've heard some very mixed things about it, but it's time. Okay, I just need to get over myself and actually read it. So this would work for the arcade because I've been putting it off. It would work for the pool because there's two R's, one in Dragons and one in Promise. It works for the dining room as well because I have, fun story, when I bought this book, I went shopping and I bought two things on that shopping trip, which was this book and a dress. And I got home and I noticed that like the spine of this book and the dress are the exact same like colors, like both colors. Like they're a perfect match and it just made me so happy that day. And I freaking love that dress. Like there is no way I'm not going to be wearing it at some point. So if I just start this book on that day, which will also give me like a specific day to like, you have to start this book now, which will help me with not putting it off, you know, then I can count it for the dining room too. So yeah, this is an Asian inspired fantasy that is inspired by the Wild Swans fairy tale. And I freaking love the first one. So yeah, I'm excited for this. Then I have a couple of other books that I have in mind to also potentially read, but I don't have them, like I don't have them here or like on hold from the library or like concrete access to them yet. But they're on my mind, so I'll mention them really quickly. So first I have Dungeons and Drama by Christy Boyce, which is a YA contemporary romance, very nerdy. It sounds great. It would work for the arcade because I haven't heard a lot of people talking about it, and the pool because there's two D's. So yeah. And then I have Redemptor by Jordan Ifueko, which is the sequel to Raybear. I'm currently reading Raybear. I think I have like 3 hours left in the audiobook. And I'm really enjoying it. So I will be finishing that either April or early May, and then I am hoping to dive right into the sequel straight away and just, read it, finish the duology. It's an African-inspired fantasy about this girl who is magically compelled to grant her mother one wish. And the wish that her mother gives her is like that she has to become part of the prince's council and then kill the crown prince. But with how the magic works, in order to be part of the king's council, you have to develop feelings of love, which doesn't necessarily have to be romantic love, but some sort of love bond in order to be able to do that. So, struggles with that. Yeah, and I want to read the second book. Then I also would like to read Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lin Tan. This was so big when it came out, and I've been wanting to read it ever since, but I also keep putting it off. But I think that this book will really be up my alley. So yeah, I want to give it a try. This would work for the gym and spa because I've been putting it off. It would work for, I don't know if it would work for something else. Is it considered romantasy? I'm not sure. So I don't know if it's a genre blend. I don't know, but I think I'm gonna like it. I'll I'll see what it works for when we get there. Also, I said Redemptor works for the pool because there's two R's in it, and I think that is it for the Redemptor. Yeah. And then another book that I would like to read is Raven 2, which is the third book in the Slaves series by Miriam Borgemans, which is a Dutch, well, Belgian actually, but written in Dutch, YA dystopian series that I've been really enjoying. They read very quickly, so, and I want to continue them. But so it definitely works as a popcorn read or the arcade because no one really talks about them because a lot of people can't read them because they don't exist in English. But yeah, I could do that if I end up reading book 4 as well, potentially, which is Dante 2. I could count them for, again, popcorn read or the arcade, but also a genre blend because it's like a dual POV series where the books alternate POVs, and Dante's POV is a murder mystery as well. So we have sci-fi and a mystery, like mystery thriller-ish, like sort of an in-between that. So yeah, but Raven's POV doesn't have that element to it. It's just a sci-fi there. So yeah. I think that I mentioned all the books that I needed to mention. I might end up deciding throughout the month to pick up something else entirely. We'll see. But these are the books that I'm currently thinking about. So yeah, let me know if you've read any of them and like which one I should prioritize. And also, wait, I should probably hold this up for like thumbnail purposes. I'm gonna hold up a smaller stack because I can't hear them all. So this is the TBR. Let me know if you've read any of these and what you thought of it. And also let me know what you're excited to read in the month of May. And I'll have to see you again soon. Bye.